Good afternoon, everyone. To my Chavrisa Moshe, it would be great when we're learning in person. Until then, I am here posting videos online. And when we learn in person, I probably would continue to post videos depending on what we're doing. Because why not have extra people learn? I mean, the past two videos have about a total of 100 views. Some people may have listened for 1 minute. It's 1 minute of Torah. It's beautiful. I'm doing it anyway, so why not? So this tzitzis that I'm wearing, it's a different mitzvah. When you make your own pure tzitzis, or you have a tzitzis that you like the beged, it's like a whole different mitzvah. It feels amazing. So, and this is my colorful chumash, because there's a lot of stuff I didn't know at first. A lot of stuff. When you go further, you learn more psukim, you learn more. You're never too old to learn more chumash. I'd say go for it. So the style that I'm doing this chumash to review, I'm not going to review before every single shir, but the style is, I'm going to define a word in English first, try to do an easier English, so anyone could learn it and understand it. So I'm going to say the pasuk with the English. But after we both know the English, if you were following from the first shir, because the word was mentioned many times, I don't have an exact number, so I'm not going to say the English anymore. So if you're starting from this shir to do Shnai Mikra, then welcome. Or to not do Shnai Mikra, just learn Chumash. Beautiful. And if you want to get the most out of it, start from Parsha's Bereshis. Now we're making small goals. Small goals is to get to, Parshas Vayechi, do the whole Sefer Bereshis. It's a small goal. It's doable. We already did 2 Parshas. We'll get through all of them. Now, some Parshas I may know better, so I may be faster at it. Some Parshas I may be slower at it because maybe not as familiar with that Parsha. Well, that's literally the point why I'm doing this. It's okay. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay not to know everything perfectly. It's okay. The point is just get started and to do it. And I encourage everyone in their own personal lives, wherever they're holding, just get started. Don't worry about being perfect. You're going to be much further in whatever project you're doing, no matter how little of it you actually get through when you start, instead of trying to do it perfectly and not doing it at all. Right, so now we're going to do Parshas let's see. Parshas Noach. Let me pause this video to make sure that I think we did Noach already. Why am I not reminding myself? What's going on here? Going out from our costume toward Canaan. Settle there. Okay. Yeah, I was just doing the Targum of a different Parsha yesterday, which is actually Bereshis, so I didn't recognize the end of Parshas Noach, and I realized that because that I did earlier in the day, and this I did the Targum last night, so that's why I didn't recognize it. But yeah, we're up to Parshas Lecha. Okay. Alright, here we are. V'yemer Hashem El Avram. Now, if you were with us from the first shir, you're going to know what Vayomer means, and Hashem said, right? So I'm not going to define Vayomer Hashem El Avram. Lecha, go for yourself. Me'artzecha, from your land. Mimoladtecha, from your relatives. Like Yolad is to give birth, so Mimoladtecha, from your relatives. Mibeis Avicha, from your father's house. El Aretz Asher Ani Areka, to a place that I will show you, to a land that I will show you. V'asar l'gagadal, I'll make you into a great nation, a nation that's great. V'avarechacha, and I will bless you. V'agad v'ashmacha, and I will make your name great. V'hei bracha, and it will be a blessing. I think everyone knows that bracha means blessing. If you didn't know, now you know. Va'avarcha, and I will bless. Mivarchecha, those who bless you. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I will bless those that bless you. Mikalelcha, and I will curse. Ar. And those who curse you, I will curse. Mikalelcha, and those that curse you, I will curse. And they will be blessed through you, all the families of the earth. Lech Avram, and Avram went, kasher diber elav Hashem, like Hashem spoke to him. Ve'elech ito, and he went with him. Ve'elech ito Lot, and he went with Lot. Avram went with Lot. Avram ben Chamesh Shanim, and Avram was, we did the year so many times. Chamesh Shanim is 5 years, with Shivim Shana and 70 years. With Tzesim and Charan, when they left from Charan. Tzesim was like to go out. Vayikach Avram, and Avram took his Sarai Ishto, Sarai his wife, Lot ben Achiv, and Lot the son of his brother, Skor Chushim, and all the possessions, Asher Rachashu, that they amassed. V'ez Hanefesh, and the souls, Asher Asu Charan, that they made in Charan. It's an interesting way of saying children, if that's what it means. Vayetzu, and they went forth. Lolachas Artza Canaan, to go towards the land of Canaan. Vayivo Artza Canaan, and they came to the land of Canaan. Vayavar Avram Ba'aretz, and passed did Avraham in the land. He passed as far until Mekum Shechem, until Shechem. Ad Elon Morah, until as far as the plain of Morah. Vaknani Az Ba'aretz, and the Kanani was then in the land. Ve'er Hashem al Avram, and Hashem appeared to Avram. V'yomer, and he said, L'zarcha to your children, etin eretz hazos, I will give this land. V'ven sham mizbeach, and I will build. And so he built there a mizbeach, l'Hashem, hanir, I love that, it appeared to him. So Hashem told Abraham, I'm going to give your children this land. So Abraham built a mizbeach there for Hashem, who appeared to him. Vayatek Misham, and he relocated from there, Ahara, to a mountain, Nikedem leVesel, to the east of Besel. Vayet Alo, he pitched his tent, Besel, for Vesel, Miyam, from the sea. No, Miyam, in this context, means from the west. Miyam, like Yeminu, small, like right or left. So, from the right, or on the west, in this specific, Ha'ai, of the place called Ai. Mikedem, on the east. Vayiven Sham Mizbeach Hashem, and he built there Mizbeach for Hashem. Vayikrin, called out B'Shem Hashem, in the name of Hashem, like I guess like blessings. Visa Avram Haloch v'Nasoah Negba, and Avram journeyed. Haloch v'Nasoah Negba, and Avraham Visa Avram, and Avram journeyed. He traveled. Haloch, continuing v'Nasoah, to travel. Hanegba, towards the south. Vayirav, and there's a hunger b'aretz in the land. Vayered Avraham Mitzrayim, and Avram descended. He went down to Mitzrayim. Lagor Sham. Lagor Sham means to live there, to dwell there. It says here to sojourn, to live there. Ki kaved harav, because there was a severe famine b'aretz in the land. Vayi, and it occurred kasher hikriv lavo Mitzrayim, as it occurred that he became close to entering Mitzrayim. V'yomer al Sarai Ishto, he said to Sarai his wife, Hinena yadati ki isha yefas marat. Behold, I know that you are a beautiful looking person, beautiful appearance are you. V'alta v'haya, and it will be ki yiru osach, when they see you, Hamitzrim, the Egyptians. V'amru, when they say, Ish Shozos, this is his wife, you know what they're going to do? The Hargu Ozi, they're going to kill me. Osach Yichyu, and they're going to let you live, because then they're going to go marry you. Because they can't marry you if I'm alive and I'm your husband, so they're going to kill me. And then they're going to take you. Imru, not please say Achlosi out that you're my sister, Laman Yitav, so it will go well, Li with me. Bavurich, for your sake, v'chaysa nafshi, and my soul will live and remain alive. Biglalech, because you saved me on your account, because of you. Now we're up to Shane. Then it was Kivo Avram, but it happened at the entry when Avram entered Mitzrayim to Mitzrayim. V'yar Mitzrayim esa isha, and the Mitzrayim saw this woman kiyafa himo, she was very beautiful. Vayiru osa, and they went, and when Vayiru osa, Paro, when the officers of Paro did see her, Vayihalu, and they praised Osa her al Paro to Paro, like, wow, this person's for Paro, for the leader, for the Pharaoh. So they took this woman to the house of Paro to marry him. Well, Avram hated, for Avram went very, very well, Bavur, because of her. They gave him presents, they gave him sheep, sheep, bakar, cattle, chamarim, donkeys, vavadim, mishlev, strachos, maidservants, sonos, female donkeys, and camels. Vayinaga Hashem, but Hashem afflicted as Paro, Nagam Gedalim, with big plagues, nags like a wound, like a severe Gedalim, very big ones. Vesbeso, and his household, Alivasare Yeshus Avram, because of this matter that he took the Sarai, which was the wife of Avram. Vekra Paro Avram, and Paro called Avram Bayomer, and he said, Mazas Sicily, what did you do to me? Lama Lehigato, why didn't you tell me that this was your wife? Lama Marta, why did you say Chaysit, my sister? I took her for me, Elisha for a wife. Vata, now I find out that's your wife. Take your wife and go. Obviously, if he would have said it's his wife the whole time, they would just kill him if they would have said that right away. But after God came to him, and it gave him these problems, he chopped what's going on here, and he said, take your wife, go. Beit Savo, Paro Anashim, and he commanded, and Paro commanded his men, Vayishlucho Oso, Vasishto, and they sent away him and his wife, Veskol Asherlo, and everything that was his. Say, go away, take everything. At this time, apologize if there's a baby crying in the background because small house. Vayal Avram mi Mitzrayim, and Avram went to Mitzrayim. Huva Ishto, him and his wife Chol Lo, everything that he had. Velot imo Hanegba, and Lot was with him towards the south. Avram kaved me'od, and Avram had very much. He had a lot. He was like full of tezladen. B'mikneh because was up. He had a lot from Paro. That's where I assume it's all from, unless he got something in between, but from livestock, silver and gold. Velch, he went Lamasav on his journeys, Me'egav from the south, at Beis El until Beis El, at Makom Asher Haya Sham Alo, until the place where his tent was. Batchil in the beginning, Bein El, Bein Ha'ai, between Bethel, Beis El, and between Ai. El Makom Mizbech, to the place of Mizbech, Asher Asa Sham B'Rishana, that he originally made there. By Crush Sham Avram B'Shem Hashem, and Avram called out in the name of Hashem, he called praise. V'gam Lot, and also to Lot, Halech es Avram, that went with Avram, Hayatzonavakar V'Holin. He himself also had sheep, cattle, and tents. V'lo nasa osam ma'aretz, and the nasa means like to carry, so in this sense it means support. And the land wasn't able to support both of them, L'shavas, to enable them to dwell yachtav together. Kei haya rechusham, because they had a lot, rechusham rov, a lot of possessions. So they were not able to dwell together. But he riv, and there was an argument. Ben Roy Mikne Avram, Ben Roy Mikne Lot. See, at that time, the animals, they did natural grazing, they did rotational grazing. So the animals needed, naturally grass-fed animals. Traditionally, how it was always done. You need space. Nowadays, they wouldn't have that problem. There'd be no argument. They just stuff the animals in small, tiny boxes and say, perfect, you could have thousands of animals right in one spot. But in those days, you weren't able to do that. So, so they were having this argument between the shepherds of Avram and between the shepherds being Roe Mikne Lot, between the shepherds of the livestock of Lot. The Canaanim Prizi Az Yoshevaretz, and the Canaanim and the Prizim at the time were dwelling in the land as well. V'yam Avram Lot. Avram said to Lot, "Oh no, please, let there not be Timariva, any arguments between me and you, between Ro'acha, between my shepherds and your shepherds. Ki anashim acham, we're brothers. Let's not fight over here. Hello, kol haaretz l'fanacha. Is not all the land in front of you? Just go further. His parade, separate now, please, my life from me. V'im hasmol, if you go to the left, v'imina, then I will go to the right. V'im ha'imin, and if you go to the right, that's me. I'm going to go to the left. V'isloteinav, and Lot raised his eyes and he saw his kol kikar hayardin. He saw the entire plain of the Jordan. Kikul amashke, it was all irrigated. Before Hashem destroyed Sodom somewhere. Kegan is like a garden. Hashem Eretz Mitzrayim. It's like a garden. It was like Hashem's garden, like land of Mitzrayim. Ba'achad Tsar, coming towards Tsar. After this argument, sometimes people think it's like a big deal to argue about something. And then when someone just points out simple concepts that they even maybe have knew the whole time, but it was like deep inside, they're like, oh. And they look up and they're like, oh, there you go. It was right in front of me the whole time. It's like he lifts up his eyes and he's like, looks like there's a whole endless fields that I see over here. Yeah, I can go to those fields. It's interesting. Lo Lot is kol kikar yardin, and he chose for himself. Vivchar means to choose, as kol kikar yardin, the whole plain of the Yarden. Visa Lot, and Lot traveled Nikedem from the east. They pardu ish me'al achiv, and then they departed one person from his brother. They separated. Avram yashav be'eretz Canaan. Avram dwelled in the land of Canaan. Lot yashav be'arei Kikar, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the Kikar, of the plain, like a flat plain. V'ehal, and to the pitched tents ad Sodom. He had pitched tents until Sodom. V'anshe Sodom roim v'chatam Hashem od. Now the anshe of Sodom, roim means shepherds. Roim means bad. They were bad and they were sinners to Hashem very much. They're very bad people. Hashem amar Avram, and Hashem said to Avram, Achari parted Lot me'emo, after Lot departed from you. Saninacha, lift up your eyes, Rei min hamakom, see from the place, Asher Hashem, from the place where you are, there, the place you're there, like look from the place that you're currently there. Look Tzefona, look north. V'negba, look south. V'kedma, look east. V'yavama, V'yama, and west. North, south, east, west. Ki eskarat asher ataroa lecha, because all of this land that you see, etinena, I'm going to give it to you, Odarcha, and to your descendants, ad olam, forever. V'samti es zaracha ke'afar aretz, and I will make the offspring like the dust of the earth. Meaning, there's going to be so many. Ke'afar aretz. Asher im yuchal ish limnais, so that if it's possible for a person to count, es afaretz gam zarachimna. So that means if it's possible, I'm going to make so many people on this earth, right? That if someone can count sand, they can count how many people. Meaning, you can't really count any people. Like, how much people are there in the world? No one can give you a close number. Because people are always dying. People are always being born. Not everyone has birth certificates. I don't know. You just don't know. Say in your house, how many people in a city, you could probably get a rough estimate, but in the world. So it's pretty cool. Like, if you could count sand, you could count your children. Okay. Come, rise up, his halich baretz. Walk the land, la'arka through its length, l'rachba into its width, kilchatinana. So go take a nice look at it. Ve'al Avram, and Avram pitched his tent. Ve'avo, and he came ve'yeshev ba'elone Mamre, and he dwelled in the plains of Mamre, which was a place, Asher b'Chevron, in Chevron. V'yivon shem mizbeach l'Hashem, and he built a mizbeach to praise Hashem. Revi. Ve'hi, and it happened, be'emam Raphael, days of Raphael, ve'emer Shinar, and he said to Shinar Arioch Melech Elasar, the Shinar, the Aroch, the king of Elasar, Kedolamar Melech Elam, Kedolamar, the king of Elam, Sidal Melech Goyim, and Sidal Melech Goyim. Asum Melchama, they had a war. As Bera Melech Sodom, with Bera Melech Sodom, as Birsha Melech Amorah, Shinov Melech Adma, Vishem Aver Melech Tzvoyim, they had a fight, these kings and these kings. Umelech Bela Hitzar, and the king of Bela is the king of Tsar. Is Tsar. Kol Ela Chavru as Amek Hasidim. All of these have joined together in the valley, in the Amek, in the valley Hasidim of Sidim, Hu Yam Hamalach, which is the sea of salt. It's called Hasidim. Shtei Mesri Shana, 12 years of dew, they served as Kedar Omer, King Kedar Omer. Shoshas Shana Maradu, and then for 13 years they rebelled. Varba Sushana, on the 14th year, Balda Ba Kedar Omer, came Kedar Omer, Vahamalachim, and the kings, Sharito that was with him, Vayaku, and they striked as Rephaim, Bashtres Kanaim, the name of the people, but Rephaim in a place called Bashtres Kanaim, as Hazusim, Bahem in a place called Ham, Ves Ha'emim, Bishave Kiryasam in a place called Shave Kiryasam, Ves Hachivi, Baharam in the mountains of Seir, Ad El until El Paran, Asher Al by the desert. Vayeshuvu, and then they turned back, Vayavo, and they came, El Ein Mishpat, to a place called Ein Mishpat, He Kadesh, which is Kadesh. Vayaku, and they struck as close today Amaleki, all the fields of the Amalekim, Vagam Amori, and the Amoris, Hayoshiv, Bechatzitzon Tamar. We're going to a place called Chatzitzon Tamar. Yitzim Melech Sodom, and went out, to the king of Sodom went out, Melech Amorah, and the king of Amorah, Melech Adma, Melech Tzevoyim, Melech Bela, Hutzar, which is Tsar, Vayarku Itam Melchama, and they engaged a war. Be'emek Hasidim, they started a war in Emek Hasidim. V'Kedol Amar Melech Elam, with Kedol Amar Melech Elam, V'Sid Ol Melech Goyim, V'Amrafel Melech Shinar, V'Aryoch Melech Elasar, Arba Melchim, 4 kings, Eschem Misha, against 5 kings. V'Emek Hasidim, now in the valley of Sidim, Barrows, it was full of pits. Barrows had many pits, Chemar of tar. Vayanusu, and they fled, Melech Sodom Ba'amorah, the kings of Sodom and Amorah, Vayiplu Shama, and they fell there. Vahanisharim Hera Nasu, while the rest to a mountain fled. So I guess they lost. Vayiklu es kol Rechusham Sodom, so they seized all the possessions of Sodom, Amorah, so it's called Achlam, and all their food. And then they went away. So they fought the war, they won, they took all their possessions and their food, and then they went away. Vayiklu es Lot es Rechusho ben Achi Abraham, and they seized Lot and his possessions, the brother of Abraham. They seized Lot es Rechusho and his possessions. And part of the possessions was Lot and his possessions. Ben Achi Abraham, the son of the brother of Abraham, Vayilchu, and they went away. V'hu Yosheb b'Sodom, and he was residing in Sodom. Vayavo hapalat, and then there came a fugitive. Vayagid Avram, and he told Avram, V'hu shochin be'Elonim Mamre, who was now dwelling, he was living in Elonim Mamre, Ha'amori, the Amorim, Achai Eshkol, the brothers of Eshkol, Achai Einar, and the brothers of Einar, V'hem Bali v'Avraham. These are members of the original covenant of Abraham. and they told him. Apparently, they told him about Lot. Veshma Avram, and Avram heard Ki nishba achiv, that he has been captured. His brother, right, was his nephew, but as close as a brother. Vayarek ki chanichav, and he armed his disciples. He armed his people with him. Yalide, those who have been born based on his house, his kids. Shmona Asar, 8 Ushloshes Meos, 318. Vayirdof Adan, and they pursued until done. He has to go to Lo. Vayachalek lahem laylom, who, and they were split against them at night. He va'avadav, him and his servants. Vayokem, and he struck them. Vayirdufim, and he pursued them. Ad chova, until chova. Asher, that mismol, that's to the left, which in this case was the north. Damasek, of Damascus. So the actual definition is, they split them. Chalik is to split. They were divided against them that night, and his slaves struck them and pursued them as far as Chova, which is the north of Damascus. Okay? V'yashav el kol harachush, and he brought back all the possessions. V'gam Lot, he saved Lot also, Achav his brother. Or Chushu, and his possessions. Heshiv he brought back. V'gam es hanashim esam, also the women and also the nation. Avram saved everyone apparently. Vayetze Melech Sodom, and the king of Sodom went out Lecha to meet him. After Shuvo, his return. Mehakos, from striking, Eskadrol Omer, Ves Malachim Asher Ito, that were with him. Ves Emek Shivei, and in the valley of Shivei, who Emek, that's the valley, Hamalach the king. O Malkitzedek, meanwhile Malkitzedek, Melech Shalem, Hotzi Lachem the Yayin, brought out bread and wine. Who Kohen, and he was a Kohen, a priest. La'el Elyon, to the Most High God. Okay, he was a Kohen of Hashem. Vayavarcheu, and he blessed him. Vayomer, and he said, Baruch Avraham, blessed Avraham, Lakel to God, Elyon of Most High, Kone, the Maker, Shemaim La'aretz, of the heaven and the earth. Uvarach, and is blessed, Kel Elyon, the High God, Asher Magin, that has delivered. Magin also means a shield. Saracha, your enemies, Biadecha, in your hands. V'iten lo maser Nikol, and Avraham gave 1/10 of everything. This is where Meiser started, apparently. V'emer Melech Sodom, and the king of Sodom said to Avraham, Tan li hanefesh v'harchush kachlach, give me the people, but the possessions take for yourself. So Avraham said, I want to keep the people, but keep everything else. V'emer Avraham Melech Sodom, and Avraham said to the king of Sodom, Hari Mesiadeh, I will lift up my hand, El Hashem, to God, El Elyon, the Most High God, Konesh Shemaim La'aretz, the Maker of the heaven and earth, Emichut ve'ad siruch na'al. If I take from a thread, Mechut, from a thread, ve'ad siruch na'al, to a lace of a shoe, ve'mekach, and if I take Mikol asher lach, from anything that's yours, below Somer, so you should not say, Ani he'esharti es Avraham. It's Avraham who I made rich. I want you to take every single thing from me. Because if I take the smallest thing, you're going to say, oh, Avraham is rich because of me, because it's Sodom. And it's no. You take everything, every single thing, every shoelace, every string, and Hashem's going to make me rich. God's going to make me rich. Bil Adai. Aside from me, Rak asher achlu hana'arim, only what the young men consumed. V'chelek hanashim, and the portion of the men, asher halchu iti, that went with me, Nair to Nair, Eshkol Mamri to Eshkol Mamri, Heim yikchu chalkam. They're going to take their portion. But regarding myself, I'm not taking anything. After these words, Hayadvar Hashem al Avraham, the word of Hashem came to Avraham, but Machaza, in a vision. Chaza means to see. In a vision, Lamar saying, Altira, don't fear. Altira Avram, don't fear. Anechi Magin lach, I'm a shield for you. Secharcha harbi meod, your reward is very great. Ve'omer Avraham, and Avram said, Adonai Elokim, God, my master. Ma titenli, of what is that which you give me? What are you giving me? I'm not sure what the context is. We'll see. Ariri, I go childless. Uven Meshech Basi, and the one who manages my house, who Demeshech Elazar, is Elazar. So Hashem saying, what Hashem just told him, your scholars are great, and he says to Hashem, like, what exactly are you giving me? I don't have a child. Ve'omer Avraham, and then Avram said, Hain, indeed, lead to me, lo nesati zera, I don't have children, v'hinei ben basi yerishosi, and the one who inherits, and I don't have anyone to inherit me. V'hinei, and behold, Devar Hashem. Okay. Meshech means manages. Meshech basically manages my household. Damasek, Elazar, is Damasek is a place. Damascus, someone who's a manager, and the other one means Damascus. Meshech is manages. Mesek is Damascus. Okay. Pasuk Dad. Hine behold Devar Hashem Elov, the word of Hashem came to me, Lemar, saying, Lo Yirashcha Zeh, this person, Elazar, is not going to inherit you. Ki em asher yetze me'echa hu yirash, those that come forth from within you, that he will inherit you. Ve'etzeo, so, and he took him achutza, outside, ve'omer, and he said, Habetna, gaze now, Mishamayim, towards the heavens, Ispor kochavim, and count the stars. Imtuchal Ispor, if you're able to count the stars, I sum them. Are you able to count them? Ve'omer, and he said, Ko, so yiyah zaracha, that'll be your children, they won't be able to count them. Ve'amin b'Hashem, and he trusted in Hashem, Ve'yachshiveha lo tzedakah, and he had thoughts of, and he reckoned it to him as righteousness. He understood it as an amazing thing, because he right now has 0 kids, and Hashem said, no, look at the stars, that's how many kids, descendants will come out from you. So he was all excited. Ve'amar lov ani Hashem, and he said to him, I'm Hashem. God was talking to him. Asher tzizcha me'er kastim, that took you out from or kastim, L'osis Lecha, to give you Saretz Azais, the land Lishta, to inherit it. Ve'yomar, and he said, Hashem, Bama Edak Kirshana. With what? Bama, how? Like, whereby shall I know? How will I know Kirsha? Then I am the one to inherit. Ve'yomar 11, Hashem said, Kicha li egla, take to me, give to me egla, cows, heifers, mishuleshas, triple heifers, does that mean 3? Ve'ez, and goats, mishuleshas, triple goats, va'ayel mishulash, and triple rams, v'sor, and a turtle dove, v'gozel, and a young dove, v'ikach lo es kol elah, and he took all these, v'yivater, and he divided them, osam them, v'tava in the middle, v'yitain ish, and he placed each one. Ish means a man, but over here ish means each one. Bisro of the pieces, he placed each one of the pieces, likras re'ehu, facing his friend, ves hatzipar lovasar, but of the birds he did not divide. Ve'ered ayat, and the birds descended, the birds of prey descended, al havgarim, on the carcasses, ve'eshiv osam Avram, and Avram drove them away. Ve'eshiv was like return, so Avram drove them away when they wanted to eat the carcasses. Vayhi hashamash lavo, and it happened as the sun was about to set, v'tardema, in a deep sleep, nafal al Avram, fell on Avram, v'nei ema, and then there was a fear, cheshech of darkness, Gedela was great, and I fell asleep that was falling on him. Vayomer Avram, and he said to Avram, Yoda Teda, I know with certainty, Ki ger Yezeracha, that your children, Yezerach Baretz, will be on the land. Lolahem, that's not their own. Va'avadim, and they will enslave them. Ve'inu oisam Rabim, and they will oppress them for 400 years. So, ki ger means like a stranger, like they're going to be. I know with certainty that your children will be on the land as like unwanted guests, and it's not going to be their land yet, and they will be enslaved and oppressed for 400 years. V'gamas hagoy, but also the nation, asher yavdu, that they will serve. Donanechi, I will judge. But eventually they will leave with wealth that is great. Now, Tava, you should come, Alabasecha, to your house, b'shalom, in peace, to cover b'seva tova, and you should be buried in old age. That's good. And as for you, come to your ancestors in peace, and you should be buried. Like you're not going, I guess you're not being part of this Mitzrayim situation. Vidar Revi, and the fourth generation, Yeshuvu, should return Hena here, Kilo Shalem Avon, because it's not yet complete. The Avera HaAmori Adhena, of the Avera of the Amoris until now. I'm not sure what the Avera of the Amoris was, but there was some sin that's not complete yet. Vayihi Hashemesh, and it was the sun Ba'a that was coming. Va'alata, in a thick darkness. There was Finei Saner, and there was a furnace, Ushan of smoke. V'lapid Aish, and a torch of fire, Asher Avar Bein Hagzarim, that passed between the pieces, Ha'ela, of these pieces. Be'emuh, on that day, Karas Hashem es Avraham, Hashem made a covenant. Hashem created Hashem es Avraham. Bris Lemar, he created a covenant with him, saying, Lazarachan es Hatisarat, I'm going to give the land to your children. Hazos, this one, Minhar Mitzrayim, from the river of Mitzrayim, Adhanar, to the river, Hagadol, that's great, Nahar Paras. Ves Hakeni, and the Canaanim, the Aknizi, and the Knizes, Ves Hakadmoni, and the Kadmonim, Ves Achiti, Ves Aprizi, Ves Harafam, Ves Amari, Ves Akanani, Ves Hagishi, Ves Havusi. For Sarai, and Sarai, Ashes Avram, the wife of Avram, Leodoloi, she did not have any children. V'Lah, and she had Shivcha Mitzrias, a Egyptian maidservant, Shema, and her name was Hagar. But Tamar Sarai Avram, and Sarai said to Avram, Hinina Atzarani Hashem has restrained me. Behold, Hashem restrained me, Miladi, from being able to give birth. Bona El Shavchasi, so go to my servant. Ulai Ibana Mimena. At least you'll be able to build from her family. Vishma Avram L'Kol Sarai, and Avram heard the voice of Sarai, V'tikach, and he listened. V'tikach Sarai Ashes Avram es Hagar, so he took Hagar, the maidservant, the Mitzrias, the Mitzrias son, Shevchasa, the maidservant. Mikes, at the end, Esther Shanim, of 10 years, L'Shavas Avram, to the dwelling of Avraham, Beretz Canaan, the land of Canaan, Vayitin, Osel Avraham, Isha, and Avram made him into a husband. Lo Lisha, he made her into a wife. Ve'avo Hagar, and he said to Hagar, and he came to Hagar, he was with her, Vatar, and she conceived. Vatera, and when she saw Ki Harasa, that she conceived, Vatekel Givirta, she belittled her mistress, which was Sarai, Beina, in her eyes, because she's like, I got pregnant and you didn't get pregnant. Tamar Sarai, and Sarai responded, she said, El Avram to Avram, Chamasi, injustice was done to me. Halacha. The injustice that was just done to me was done to you. Anochi nasati shivchasi. I was one that gave you my maidservant. V'chaikecha. To you. But Terah, and when she saw Kiarasa, that she conceived, v'ekal beinaha, I was belittled in her eyes. Yishpoit Hashem beini v'necha. Let Hashem judge between me and you. Meaning, let Hashem listen to this and let Hashem defend me over here, and because this is not okay what's going on. I can't have children, and she's making fun of me, and I gave her to you. This is too much. B'chaykecha, I'm not sure the literal translation of b'chaykecha means like I gave it to you, like to marry her. We'll see if we have a better definition of it later. V'yamar Avram al Sarai, and Avram said to Sarai, Neshiv chasi biyadich, here's my servant in your hand. Asilato beinacha, do as it's fit in your eyes. Do what you want. Vatana Sarai, so Sarai dealt harshly with her. But Tibrach mipnai, either she was screaming at her. I don't know. Was she hitting her? I don't know. But she dealt with her harshly, and Hagar ran away. V'yamtzia Malach Hashem, and Malach of Hashem found Hagar, an angel of God, Al Ein Mayim, by a spring of water by Midbar in the desert, Al Ha'ayin, by the spring on the road, shore to shore. V'yamar Hagar, and Hagar said, Shivcha Sarai, from the maidservant of Sarai, Aim is a bus. From where's this place that you're coming from? Va'anat Lecha, where are you going? Tomer, and she said, Mipnei Sarai Giverti, from Sarai my mistress, and I'm running away. V'yamar la Malach Hashem, and the angel of God said to her, Shuvi, return, I'll give her to your mistress, v'his ani tachas yadaha, and allow yourself to be dealt with harshly. Give yourself yisurim, give yourself pain, tachas yadaha, under her hands. Not sure why. V'amar la malach Hashem, and said to her, the angel of God, Arba ara zaracha, I will greatly increase you and your children, for you suffer more. They're not going to be able to be counted. There's going to be so many of them. Meaning, get these pains from her, because God's going to see that, and if through that, you're going to be a lot of offspring will come out from you, and you're not going to be counted. You're not going to be able to be counted. V'amar la malach Hashem, and the angel of Hashem said to her, Hincha, behold, hara, you will conceive Yolad Bain, you're going to have a son, and you should call him Ishmael. Ki shama Hashem es anich, because you see Hashem listen to your cries. V'ya para adam, you will be a wild being of a man, yado of your hand, but kol against all, v'yad kol bo, and the hand of all against him, v'alpenei koach avishkom, and in the face of all your brothers, you're going to dwell. You're going to be against everyone and dwell together with them, and you're going to be wild. I guess the idea is you're going to be strong. I'm not sure if this is a good thing or not good thing. You're going to be wild against everyone. In the face of his brothers, you're going to dwell. That's the definition of the words. Vatikra Shem Hashem, and she called the name of Hashem, Hadoiver, who spoke aloud to her. Ata El Roy, the God of my vision, Ki Amra, for she said, Hagam Halo Reisi. Even here, I could not see. Achrei Roi, after having seen. And she said to Hashem, who spoke to her, you are the God of vision. And she said, could I have seen after I've seen? Is there something more for me to see? Maybe is there something more for me to know? Akin Kril of Lachai, she called the well Lachai, of the living one. Roi appeared to me, Hine Bain Kadesh Vein Bard. Behold, there is between Kadesh and between Bard. She called the Be'er Lachai, the well of the living room, because Hashem appeared to her in this place. Vatelet Hagar Avram, and Hagar gave birth to Avram, being a son. Vayikra Avram Hashem B'nai Sheol Hagar Ishmael. And Avram called this kid Ishmael. For Avram Shana V'Sheshanim, 86 years old, blood is Hagar when he gave birth to Hagar, as Ishmael Avram. To Ishmael, to Avram. Avram, and Avram was Ben Tishim Shana V'Tesha, 99 years old, Shanim years old. Vayira Hashem Avram, and Hashem appeared to Avram, and he said, Ani Kel Shaka, I am the God, His Halach Lafanai, walk before me, do the right thing as I say, Vihi Samim, and then you'll be perfect. Nothing else will be expected of you, you'll have a great life. Vetan Avrisi, I'll set my covenant, Beni ben Acha, between you and your children, V'arba Oscha, and I will increase you mod very much. Vayipol Avraham al Parov, and Abraham fell upon his face. V'davar ito Elokim lemor, And God spoke to him, saying, Ani, for me, hine brusi, itach, I have, this covenant with you. V'yisalav, you're going to be a father, Hamun Gayim, of a multitude of nations. V'liyakar Ud, and you won't be called any longer Shimcha, your name Avram. I'm going to add to your name Vayishimcha Avraham, Ki Av Hamun, because the father of the multitude Gayim of nations, I'm going to make for you so much children. The Hefresios I'll make you fruitful mode very much. Nesati, and I will give you Goyim Umlachim Mimcha Yitzu. Nations and kings will come from you. Yitzu means you will be descended to you. Vakimaisi Esprit, and I will establish my covenant, Beni V'nacha, Uvein Zaracha, Acharecha, Lerosam, Beris Olam, the covenant that's everlasting. V'yislecha, to be for you, Le'elokim, for God, L'zaracha, Acharecha, and your children after you. As Eretz Megurecha, and I will give to your children of offspring after you the land Megurecha that you're dwelling in. Eis Kol Asher Canaan, the whole land of Canaan, Lachuzas Olam, as an everlasting possession. V'hayisu Lahem Le'elokim, and I'll be their God. V'yemer Elokim al Avram, God said to Avram, Ve'ata esprisi, as for you, my covenant, Tishmar, you should keep, you and your children for generations. Those esprisi, this is my covenant, Tishmaru, that you should keep, Bein Uveinechem, and Bein Sarecha, Acharecha, Himel, to circumcise Lechem Kol Zachar, every male, Ben Unmaltem, and should circumcise. As Psar Laschem, the foreskin, Vaya Laos Bris Bein Uveinechem. This will be a sign of this treaty, of this covenant between me and you. At 8 years old, Yimo should be circumcised. Every male, Sechem, throughout the generations, Yalid, that he will be born biased to the house. Umeknas Kesef, and that he is purchased with money. Ikol ben Nechar Shalom Zerachahu, from any outsider who is not your offspring. I guess any male, either that was born in your house or was brought into your house and was brought up with you, that's part of your family now. They should also have an offspring. I don't know if slaves, it says purchased. I don't know if slaves also needed a circumcision. I'm not sure. Yimol, surely they should be circumcised. Yilid Beisacha, the children of your house, to make umiknas kasbachan, with who's purchased with your money. The Yisi Bris. It will be my covenant, b'v'sarchem, in your flesh, l'versolam, everlasting forever. V'arol zachar, and the male should be circumcised. Asher lo yimel as b'sar laso, he will not circumcise the flesh of his foreskin. If someone decides to not do this, v'arel, someone who is not circumcised, zachar shel lo yimel as b'sar laso, he will not take off his foreskin. V'nefesh nefesh ahi me'ama, God is not happy about that, and he will cut off his covenant from his people, as brisi hefar, for my covenant which has been breached. Kim, and God said, as Abram to Abraham, Sarai, Stecha, Sarai's wife, Lo tikra Shema, Sarai, don't call her Sarai anymore, Ki Sarah Shema, now her name is Sarah. Vrachti Osa, and I will bless her. V'gamasati mena Acha, and I will give through her to you, being a son. Berachtia, and I will bless her, Vayisil Goyim Malchei Amim, and she will have nations and kings of people, Mimena you, from her will arise, will be. And Avram fell on his face, and he laughed. Vayomer libo belibo, and he said in my heart, how bain may Ashan, I'm 100 years old, and I'm going to have. Is it even possible, Yivali, to give birth at this age? Im Sarah havas tishim shana teled, and she, who's 90, is going to give birth now. She can't even give birth, even when she was young. Vayomer Avram said, "Come to God. If only Yishmael is alive before you." What does that mean? If only Yishmael is alive before you, meaning that's also good if we just have Yishmael. That's the definition of the words. God said, Avol Sarah, your wife, will just give birth, Lecha to you, Bein, a son of Krishma Yitzchak, and call him Yitzchak, Isaac, Vakimaisius Brise, and I will establish my covenant, Ito, with him, Leversalem, Lazar Acharov. That's the covenant of everyone to his children after him. Yishmael, and to Yishmael, Shematicha, I hear you, I hear what you're saying. Hine behold Barachtiosam, I'm going to bless him. V'Efrasioso, I'll make him fruitful. V'Herbasioso, I'll increase him b'mod very much. Shnei Master Nisim, 12 princes, Yolid will be from him. Nesatichel Gagada, I'll make him into a nation that's great. Vesbrisi, unto my covenant. Akim, I will establish at Yitzchak, with Yitzchak, Asher Telid Il Chasari, that was born from Sarah. V'Amoid Hazeh b'Shana Acharas, at this time, in the year that follows. V'Echal, and then he finished, that I would to speak with him by Alakim, and God ascended Avraham from Avraham. Vayikach Avram es Ishmael b'no, and Avram took Ishmael his son, with Kol Yili Debeso, and all those that were born to his house, with Kol Miknas Kaspo, and all that he purchased with money, Kol Zachar, all the males, Ba'anshe Beis Avram, to the people of the house of Avram, Vayom, and he circumcised us Basar Alaschem, their foreskin, Ba'atzem Hayom, is in the middle of the day, Kasher Diber Tolakim, like God told him to do. Avram ben Tishim Sheshana Behimal Basar Alaschem, and Avram was 99 when he circumcised himself. Ishmael ben Shlosha Esr Shana, and Ishmael was 13 years old when he was circumcised. This was also his foreskin. And in the midst of this day, Nemo Avraham Ishmael beno. Avram was circumcised, and Ishmael was as well. Klan Shebeso, and all the men of the house, Yelid Bias, who was born there, Mekanas Kesef, was purchased. Meis ben Echer, from an outsider. Nemo Ito was circumcised with him. Thank you for listening. Parsha Lecha was done. Next Parsha will be Parsha Lecha. Have a great day.